Alright, here we are. Now, before we get started, I want to make note of two things. The first and foremost is, as politely as I can say it, there's a rumbling going on in my tum-tums, and it is not the good kind. So, if I randomly just pause the game and you don't hear anything for like 2 to 5 minutes, just pay it no mind. That'll be a bit of a pain if you're watching this later on YouTube, but, you know, I'm drinking water, I'm taking some antacids, and that's about all I can do for it, really. The second thing is, for anybody wondering that's been watching these, thinking, you know, the game's been going by kind of quickly, like, you know, this is the, what, third stream, and I'm already on Tower of the Gods. I've already done Forsaken Fortress the first time, Dragon Roost, Forest Haven, now we're here at Tower of the Gods after placing all the pearls. I want to make note of exactly how much we have skipped. So I've taken the liberty of writing down every single thing that could be done at this point in the game with what we have. So this is excluding the dungeon item we're getting here, and it is excluding the command melody that we'll also be picking up. This is the page, let me close that window, this is the page of notes that I currently have open for Wind Waker. And I realize the text is tiny, but basically 2 full pages of this stuff. And yeah. So if you're wondering, like, yeah, it doesn't seem like you have gotten a lot. Yeah, I would agree with you. There's quite a bit that I'm actually missing. And I am aware of that. We're not going to be doing, obviously, all of that today. Not by a long stretch. I do still want to go ahead and get the dungeon item here and finish this dungeon. The reason being is that will unlock the warps, and then I can warp to Windfall and get the fast sail, and that will make a lot of that go by much, much quicker than it would if I just left the Tower of the Gods and did it right now. The downside to doing that is you're supposed to have, if you do everything, 13 hearts at this point in the game, and, well, I have, 7, and I'm playing on hero mode, so yeah, maybe not the wisest idea in the world, but I have said that in the past that Wind Waker, at least in terms of staying alive, is one of the easier Zelda games, so hopefully that will not be an issue. So, putting all that aside, and making sure my windows are in the correct places, let's go ahead and begin. Now, while I do remember the previous 2 dungeons pretty well in Forest Haven and... oh, there we go. Control wasn't working there for a second. In Forest Haven and Dragon Roost, I will be the first to admit, at least in terms of where to go first, I don't remember the Tower of the Gods at all. I really do not. So, with that being said, this is going to be played a little bit by ear, more so than it normally would. There will probably be a fair bit of me fumbling around. I am still going to try to get everything in the dungeon, obviously, but keep that in mind. It's not going to be a picture-perfect run of the temple. That. If you do grapple one of those yellow choo-choos, it will give you either a red or green chew jelly. Just depends. I think it just picks at random. Maybe they're specific to the chews, but I doubt anybody has done, much less wanted to do the research on that. Also, hello, Aura. Welcome. I'm hoping this is not a joy pendant. Of course it was! Alright, cool. Glad to know the first puzzle I solved was pretty much pointless. And I am gonna... oops, that's not it. I do want to start trying to take care and making sure I got enough joy pendants and what have you for stuff. I need to have 40 joy pendants, 10 knights crests, and 20 gold feathers off the top of my head. And the only one of those requirements I've met is the 20 joy pendants, having, with that one that I just picked up, exactly 20. So I know, like all the other dungeons, there are 2 treasure chart chests in this dungeon. One of them actually is in this room, but we can't get it right now. So I'll obviously have to come back for that later. I'm going to try my absolute best not to fumble around too much, but again, I can't promise anything. That being said, we obviously need a key there, and can't do that. Middle, right, right, and left. Alright. Well, that gave me the compass, not the map. The map was kind of the thing I needed, so that's a bit unfortunate. I'm going to assume that's probably middle right. But I don't think I can get to that door in time. I think the water's gonna screw me on this. Well, especially if you go round like that, yeah. Also, MC Fan, what is up? Thank you for the Dos Bitos, otherwise known as the 2 bits. I will swim around in the circle for you until either the water goes back down or I drown, which it looks like it will be the former. Alright, first off, he gotta go. And this looks like a bit of a... Ooh, I might be able to pull off this shot with a little bit of fancy work. Kobe! Hey! And yeah, that's what I get for making a Kobe joke. Did I watch the Nintendo announcement live? No, I've seen a little bit of spoilers on Twitter, but I have not watched it myself. Reason for that being, if you saw the post that the stream announcements came with, I have obviously been studying my tail off because, for those of you that don't know or didn't see that post, and while I would hate repeating myself normally, oh, hey, some bombs, nice. I might as well mention it here in case you're not on that Discord page. If you're not, obviously, coincidentally, the link is in the top left of the screen you're watching this on. There's the map, thankfully. I'm working in the education field. My end goal is to become a teacher, and I am, so believe it or not, almost done. Oh god, I forgot there's like a ton of these jerks. Can I just like drop a bomb straight here? Sweet. That'll make my job a lot easier. I don't think there's anything important in here, but it's a platform to stand on, and right now that's good enough for me. Try not to get shocked here. I actually got them all down, at least. Anyway, back to the story. In becoming certified for a teacher, there are 2 tests that you have to take. One is to prove that you know your content area, whatever you teach. You know, English, math, science, music, whatever. And then one to prove that you actually know how to teach. And tomorrow morning, from about 8 to 11, I'll be taking the practice exam for the content exam. Which sounds like, oh, it's just a practice, it's no big deal. The thing is, you have to score a certain amount on the practice test as well in order for them to enable you to take the proper deal. So, that's not anything I need. Is there really not a key in here or something? Unless it's like a kill all enemies, but I'm gonna assume no. So, while I've also been studying for that, don't expect the stream to go super late. I know it's a school night for people, and obviously I want to be well rested for that. Plus, on top of that, once I'm done, I'm heading over to work instantly, and I will be working till about 5 o'clock. So, that's why we're not doing a stream Friday, and we're doing one today, because I'm going to go ahead and call it now that I will likely be exhausted by the end of tomorrow. Would just take a wild guess on that. As for where I want to teach, initially it had planned on being Merced, California, because that's where my partner lives, and then it turns out that it might be a role reversal and we might actually be living here rather than there. It just kind of depends, so it's one of those things we're playing by ear. I'm glad the hit detection on that switch was more forgiving than it was in the original game. The original game, you had to be pretty on top of it. Alright, away with you. Speaking of having to be relatively on top of it. Alright, so I'm going to need that switch. I don't know if I'm able to pull this off fast enough. Picking it up would be a good start, thank you. There we go. Yes, it's a rainbow bridge. Isn't that wonderful? Yeah, I know. Water's gonna screw with it. So, if you have not been watching the previous streams for this, by the way, I am playing this on Hero Mode. It is a New Game Plus file, but the only thing that actually affects is you don't have to go and pick up the Picto Box, which isn't exactly that much of a struggle. And you also start out with the, or you also keep the outset outfit rather than the typical green tunic that most people know Link for. But in playing Hero Mode, that means that there are no recovery hearts in this game. The only time I'll get my heart refilled is from potions, fairies, picking up pieces of heart or heart containers. They're not going to just be lying around in pots. That coupled with the fact that, as I mentioned prior, I don't have near the amount of hearts I'm supposed to. I'm supposed to have 13, I have 7, so I've got about half of what I should. And considering that of those 7 hearts, you start with 3 of them straight out of the gate, and 2 of them were boss drops, you can tell I haven't been exploring that much. Alright. So now I'm starting to remember this a little bit better, so I'm pretty sure this is where I'm going to get the key. If it's not, well then I'm out of luck, because I have no clue where else it would be. I swear, they timed this water just well enough to where you can't get to where you're trying to go in time. Also, for what subject am I going to teach? The way it works is also in addition to taking your content area, once you've like fully graduated, you're allowed to challenge any of the content exams that you want. And this was actually changed very recently in terms of the tests you have to take specifically. It used to be there was one for elementary school, one for middle school, one for high school. And now it's actually one for K through 4 and another for 5 through 12. So I will be taking the content exam for English, but I will go back and challenge the one for math as well. Oh no, wait, I don't need this right now. I need to be pushing all those blocks and what have you. I wonder. Yeah, no. Really, the only one I need to push is this third one here. So English would be ideal because obviously it's more fun, but I am aware of math pretty well and I could probably teach it. And to be quite frank, it's going to be a lot easier to find a job teaching math than it would be English. Oh, that jump was way off. I might have to... Well, no, maybe I don't have to reset the room. I just need to be more careful, that's all. Sure, we'll grab that pot. I'll throw it off the cliff. It'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I'd love to teach geography. Unfortunately, I am absolutely terrible at geography, as anybody who knows me will tell you. In fact, probably just about 2 weeks ago, somebody had mentioned a country that I thought was a myth, i.e. fictional, i.e. not real. So I am constantly getting astounded at places that exist, even though they've existed for, well, most of them, longer than the United States of America have. Alright, so there's a key. Oh, right, that's a thing. What country? I don't even remember what it was. It was some country in South America. It wasn't like a big one like Brazil or Ecuador, one of the obvious ones, but it was something in there. Something I didn't know. Hello, Mr. Chew. Yeah, you can't really do anything to these guys when they're stuck in the water like this. I don't think it was any of those. But I could also entirely be wrong, and it could be a completely different location as well. It might be a country in South America, it might be Asia, I don't know. I know I wasn't paying attention when I got hit right there, though. before I even attempt doing anything else in this room. Oh! I actually had to kill all of them. Okay. It seems like Wind Waker, above all the other Zelda games I played, is very odd in when it decides you need to kill all the enemies to progress versus you need to solve a puzzle to progress. Like, most of the time it's pretty dang clear when you have to kill all the enemies to get through a room. This game, really not as much, though. I'm gonna get this up the stairs before the water comes back up here. And that should be the first, yeah, the first floor of the dungeon taken care of. The only thing I am missing in this part of the dungeon is that, again, that one chest that I can't get right now because I don't have the dungeon item. Oh, come on. What state am I from? I am from Texas, originally from Georgetown, born in Georgetown, but I've lived in Lubbock, Texas since I was about 7 or 8. So, 16 years, 15 years. I'm going to try to rush this instead of taking the boat, because I feel like this would be a little bit faster. There we go, nice. Alright, there. Ah, there are dudes here, okay. Hopefully I can get around this guy fast enough, because if you get stuck with one of these statues in your hands, this actually can be a little bit of a pain. I will say another point in Wind Waker's favor, though, is it feels like this is the first Zelda game where rolling, it legitimately feels like it increases your speed. With Ocarina of Majora, there was like a slight pause after you were done rolling. This game, no, like, it feels like whenever you roll, you are getting significant speed increase. There are a lot of treasure chests on this level. Holy cow. There's 5 of them. May not all be in this room. I'm just looking at the... Well, at least you didn't get any of my rupees. Away with you. What do you think you're doing, boy? Trying to steal my money? I'll steal your money. Doesn't look like any of this is achievable right now. Actually, no, it doesn't look like there's anything in there. I'm looking backwards on the thing. Alright. We got a big old room, we got a locked door. We have another locked door, and we have one that's not locked. Wow, gee, I wonder which path we're gonna take. Also, for reference's sake, since somebody's probably gonna point it out that I'm close to dying, I do have a fairy in a bottle. At this point, I currently have 2 bottles. One of them has the Granny Soup Elixir, which is a full health refill and a double damage until you get hit, and you can do it twice, and the fairy in the bottle is the other one. Grab some of that. So that's not anything I can get to right now, that eye switch. You can probably guess what item you'll be picking up in this dungeon. Oh, that's right, that is for, like, the Tingle side quest thing. Yeah, that will not be happening. I'm gonna show off a fair bit of the game, but not that much. And what I might end up doing for, like, the very end of Wind Waker HD is I might actually get a friend to come and finish the game. But only because he's the person that got me into Zelda, and he's never actually beaten Wind Waker. He got all the way up to, say it with me, the Triforce part, getting the Triforce charts deciphered. Alright, cool. You're supposed to throw that across, I'm pretty sure. Maybe you have to throw it up, I'm not sure. Actually, no, I think you do have to throw it up there. Where are you? No? But yeah, he never finished the game due to the fact that, you know, doing that whole thing in the original game was a gigantic pain in the butt, which I completely agree with. And so, since he never finished the game, figured I might have him do, like, the very last dungeon, so he can actually, you know, say he's beaten Wind Waker. I swear you have to throw this dude across. Do you actually not? What? Unless there's another spot you can chuck him across that's not as far? What? Oh, I bet I know what it is. Is they probably want you to... Yeah, I just saw it in chat too. Is they want you to have him go across because you can't hold the statue here. That's why the platform's in the way. So if you try to hold it, you'll just fall. But you actually jump across them. I feel like, at least in real life, you'd be able to throw farther than you would jump with that object in your hand. But, you know, that's just me. Yeah, sure enough. Oh. I figured those guys would have probably reset, but I guess not. If nothing else, this will be a good opportunity for me to show that I do not know this game as well as I have been initially implying that I have, because trust me, I don't. Usually, if I'm, like, replaying this game, this is normally about where I would stop, as I would, like, stop it around getting the 3 pearls, and that would be about it. And Tower of the Gods, ironically enough, is probably the dungeon I know the least. I think, believe it or not, I might actually know the Wind and Earth temples better than this temple. I don't know why, but this one doesn't stick with me for whatever reason. Now get ready for a melody that most people absolutely detest. Because along with the Wind's Requiem, this one gets played a ton. Probably not as much as the Requiem, but still a fair bit, because the command melody gets played here, it gets played in the Earth Temple, it gets played in the Wind Temple, but yeah, it's a bit of a thing. Whoa, hello camera. Alright. What do we got in here? Actually damage those. That doesn't look like anywhere I can go right now. If I remember right, you can kind of get rid of this dude with the Deku Leaf, right? Yeah, that'd be too high up, actually. It might also help if you aimed. No, you can get rid of him that way. Alright, cool. I did not want to try to make that jump while that dude was there. That probably would have ended with me getting set on fire and then promptly falling into a ravine. This is gonna be like a temporary, yeah, like step off it. Okay. We'll come back for that when we have the statue then. Love the grappling hook in this game. It feels so freaking smooth. I almost like it more than the hook shot, which is kind of weird, because usually the hook shot's like everyone's #1 most beloved item. I actually think the grappling hook might be a little better in this game. Or at least it feels more enjoyable to use. Alright, I do remember this puzzle at least. So for this one, because you can just grapple across... And like with the Requiem, unless you turn the game off and back on, after you play it once in that little introduction thing, then it'll just automatically command whatever is in the room. I wonder if anybody, well, I'm willing to bet most people probably have at least thought about this, but I wonder what would happen if you like hacked / broke the game and got 2 objects that could be used with the command melody in the same room and then played it. Like, would it default to the closest thing? Like, what would it do? Because at no point in the game will you have that happen. Alright, so, if I remember correctly... What? Yeah, no, I already knew that. I was hoping for a little bit more useful advice, but, you know, can't have everything, I suppose. I probably could have jumped there, but oh well. Let's try now. Alright, good news. I did remember correctly. This should be the dungeon item. Also, good thing I have the grappling hook, because I do want to grab that Knight's Crest. Hi! Oh, do I actually have to rip off the helmet, too? Alright. How about now? Can I, steal this thing? I would prefer to see what I'm doing. Ha! Victory is mine. I believe the phrase we're looking for is by the skin of my teeth. But victory is mine. I feel like that was a well-deserved win there. I'm gonna go with money. Since I've already got the Knight's Crest. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the most iconic items of the game, the bow. Though it kind of sucks in this game. It has a really weird shooting angle that it fires at. It's really odd. Unless it's changed in the HD version, but I don't think it has. The arrows don't fire straight in this game. I don't know what it is, but they're really weird. No, not that. Maybe I should keep it on. But, like, see that weird, like, curved shot they make? It's really bizarre. Also, I'm going to set that to Y, because it is very hard to hold down the button and aim when you're left-handed. And the gamepad's not really meant for lefties like me. The arrows work fine whenever you're targeting, like L-targeting with them, but when you have to do it naturally, it is incredibly strange. No, what are you doing, Link? Dude, what'd you fall in the pit for? You wasted your fairy. Dummy. He was so impressed that I beat that Dark Knight, he wanted to kill himself. Alright. Switch back to the map here. There are a fair bit of treasure chests, and so I'm trying to make sure that I keep track of them all. And in fact, I am going to go ahead and go back now and get that first treasure chart, because I will definitely forget it otherwise. So that unlocks that, but we're going to go back this way first. Because, you know, dealing with the tides in the water was so much fun the first 4 times I had to do it. I figured let's do it one more time. They might drop off slightly. I'm not sure. I just feel, it feels like they have this weird, like, curved angle to them. But again, when you, like, L-target an enemy to shoot them, it feels fine. Even if they're really far away, it feels fine. I'm going to ignore that enemy. Like, here, I'll show it here. Like, I know he was at point blank, but feels even far away, it feels completely natural to make shots like that. It's when you have to actually aim at a switch or something like so. That's when it feels weird. It also doesn't help, again, that I'm left-handed, and so I actually have to aim. Like, imagine you're doing like a finger gun symbol, and your thumb is on the buttons, and your pointer finger is directing the right analog stick. That's how I have to aim. It's really weird. Because the left analog stick is going to control Link's movement, not, like, the direction he's aiming. So, yeah, a little weird. Oh, hello. I'm not going to fight those, because I don't think there's any reason to. So they will be ignored. Okay, I don't know why the current got really bad right there. For whatever reason it did. Yeah, really the second floor is where the majority of the chests are. There was like, what, 3 here? No, there was 2 on this floor. There's 5 on the second, 1 on the third, and none on the fourth, because the fourth is just the boss. So yeah, most of the stuff is, like, in this area where you gotta use the command melody. You better not drop down here and steal my rupees. I think there was a wall right there. Probably would have fallen off again. Alright. So with that taken care of, let's go ahead and run the second errand that we can do now that we have the bow. Thought I could get that in time. Why are they aiming so low? There we go. Also, yeah, since I didn't mention it, congrats on the Wizrobe to making his first appearance. The Wizrobe, everybody. Now let's never speak of him again. Oh, these enemies. Lovely. To be fair, these enemies look a lot worse than they actually are. Like, they take up a lot of space, but in terms of, like, threat level, pretty low. I'd give it, like, a 3 out of 10. But they give me much needed supplies, so I will approve of that. It's probably like a key or something. Nope, it's another joy pendant. Okay, well that was a complete waste of time. I thought that was the second treasure chart of the dungeon, but I suppose not. I wonder if that's why they started putting the heart pieces in the dungeons of Twilight Princess, is they thought they had enough success with the treasure charts in Wind Waker in the dungeons, so they started doing pieces of heart. Might have also been to compensate for the fact it was 5 pieces of heart for a heart container. Regardless, still a bad design choice, so they should have just stuck with 4 pieces of heart and figured out more stuff to do, because even with 5 pieces of heart, that game still feels like there's just lots expanses of area with absolutely nothing in it. But that's another argument for another day. Yeah, that was a bad idea from the get-go. I know there's a ladder somewhere around here. There it is. Away with you. we go. Perfect. Seriously? Again? Oh no, it's after you play this. I was like, did we just do a room like this? Reusing puzzles like, what, was that 3 rooms later? That ain't a good sign. Because this isn't the boss key. I remember where the boss key is, and this ain't it. So you don't even have to fight these guys. You can just get the treasured map and leave. Alright, so that's both the treasure charts. Don't bump your head into it. Yeah, they didn't even lock the door. Like, you can literally just get the map and leave. Alright. I remember this dungeon being a lot harder than this. This is the last room on this floor that has any treasure charts. In fact, this is probably the hardest room in this dungeon just because there's a lot going on in it. I'm impressed that actually counted. Also, I'm not sure where we're going, but I know it'll be fun getting there. This is probably a joy pendant. No, that's key. Alright. Which I guess makes sense. It'd be a little odd for them to have tower, like, your third dungeon only having 1 key outside of the big key / boss key. That would be a bit odd. Which means I'm probably doing all this for a joy pendant, because I know the boss key's not here either. That's gonna be kind of hard to time. What is with these arrows? My god. There we go. And I hate on Twilight Princess, but at least the bow feels really good to use in that game, especially on the Wii version. And I know this is just a joy pendant, but you know what? I'll be thorough and I'll clear out all the chests in the dungeon. And now I'm going to do the wise thing, and instead of trying to go back all the way through that, I'm going to not go all the way through that and just Deku Leaf back. Because I'm not about that life. So much joy. Yeah, like what? 3 of the chests in here were joy pendants? So right, if you're not going for the completionist, you have 3 you have to pick up. 2 keys and a boss key. So you've got the map, which you don't need, and the compass, which you don't need. So that's 2. And then you've got all the joy pendants, which you don't need. So that cranks up to 5. So 5 out of the 8 chests you don't need. 1/8 is 12.5%. So you only need to get 37.5 of the chests. That's not very many. That's not even half. Well, whatever. I'll pick you up. And be free! No, that's not actually what you have to do. I mean, you can get a little bit of a head start by doing that, but what you actually need to do is get him back on the switch over here. Alright, they stuck a whiz robe in here. Didn't realize you could do that, but okay. I don't think of the Deku Leaf as much of an attack weapon, so I guess that never really occurred to me to try to do that. Alright. I was hoping he'd grab that ladder there. Oh well. I'm impressed the ladder is held together so well after being submerged in water all this time. I remember one night I was having trouble falling asleep, like, before the semester started. I just, like, YouTubed a couple of, like, things that would, like, force your brain to think or have some kind of critical challenge, and apparently there's not a lot of really good ones, at least on YouTube, because most of them were kind of pathetic, but one of them was, like, the equivalent of getting trapped in a temple that's, you know, been, like, abandoned for thousands of years, and one of the options of your escape routes was, like, going through some kind of, like, steel or iron door. Apparently, at that point, you know, it's still been... steel and iron doors were still a thing, according to this idea. But yeah, it was pretty obvious that if it's been a temple that's been around for X amount of time, and it's in a wet tropical climate, doors probably rusted by now. Oh, he can't grab the ladders mid-jump? Really? I know we could in Ocarina Majora, because I've played through Ocarina a lot recently, obviously. So I know we can do it there. I'm not sure about Twilight Princess, but I know he can do it in Ocarina Majora. And I know in all the games he can, like, catch himself mid-fall. Like, if you let go of the ladder and then hold forward, he'll grab it again. But I'm not sure about the jumping part of it anyway. What I am sure, though, is that we should jump on to the next floor. So away we go. So the only thing we need to hit here... Don't remember if you can destroy the pink ones. You can destroy the pink ones. Okay, that's good. Didn't remember if it was the blues or the pinks you couldn't get rid of. All we need now is the boss key. These are probably just gonna have nothing in them, but... Well, I guess I'll take the Joy Pendant. Wasn't expecting to see that, of all things. I was expecting arrows in the other one. Yeah, that's not gonna do you much good, Link. Yeah. So we have to be quick on the draw with these. I had 30 arrows prior to doing that, but I figured I'd go and restock, so I only had about half. And this boss actually is pretty fast on draining your arrows. And since you're likely not about to hightail it back out to the Great Sea, only to get the upgrades to get 100 arrows, or even 60, I'd like to start with 30. I know he gives you arrows, but, you know, rather than have to try to run around the map for that. Yeah, oh, you do have to fight him this time. Okay, I was supposed to say I'm not going to bother with that, but apparently I am going to bother with it. Oh, for crying out loud, away with you. Thanks for the roop. So I'm not sure if I would have only had to kill those dudes, or if I'd have also had to kill the Beamos as well. Either way, the dungeon's pretty much over now. So if we take out like the 8-minute time, yeah, it's probably about 45 minutes. Let me see here. There we go. So we can get some more of those golden feathers. Hey! Hey! Thanks. You can go away now. Oh, you can kill those. Okay, so it's just the blue ones just don't move. That makes my job easier. Since I'm moving forward, I'm going to aim high. I don't want the grappling hook. Knock that off. What circus do you think we run here, boy? grab me that fairy if I can. Or shoot it with an arrow, sure. Since I kind of accidentally fell in a pit and wasted my last one. Now let's get that off of that button in case I accidentally use it. Bombs, arrows. Oh, hey, do give me another one. Well, I'll take it for the restock before the fight. Because I would like to try to only have one fairy in a bottle at any given time. So prepare for Tower of the Gods boss fight. This is basically a revamp of Bongo Bongo from the Shadow Temple of Ocarina of Time. Or if you want a even more basic version of the pyramid puzzle in Mario 64, only this part has the ahead. Or if you'd like it from another Nintendo game, Andros. Really, take your pick. This boss has done a lot. Though it's going to most closely emulate Bongo Bongo. Well, no, actually it probably would be closer to Andros now I'm thinking about it. This is not a particularly hard fight. It's a little awkward, that's about all. So you'll shoot each hand twice. Thankfully you don't have to aim, you can just lock on. You have to be pretty quick though, apparently. That being an issue. And you can tell they were showing off, like, how many sprites they could have, or whatever you want to call it, at any given time in this game. Holy cow. So yeah, hit him with a couple arrows in the hands, chuck a few in his eyes, and throw a bomb in his mouth, and that'll do him. Can I please target the other hand? Thanks. Take a couple pot shots. Yeah, that's what I had a feeling. Whoa, okay, that was a bit close. And aside from that, he's just your basic Armos. Whoa, what are you guys doing? What are you doing? I don't remember them doing that. Please do not. So yeah, if you run out of arrows, and odds are you probably will, they'll give you 10 more. I don't think he actually... Excuse me, I already knocked your little pal out. Why are you still alive? I guess you could say presumably they'll... Go away. There we go. Presumably they give you arrows constantly because they actually do genuinely want you to succeed and save the world. Since it is just a test by the gods rather than we're trying to kill you. But it's still a little dumb. So yeah, typical 3-boss cycle. Adios. Hasta nunca. The palace can now be opened. They're head with hands bosses. At least he can face palm in peace. Go forward with caution. Is he going to explode? Is a giant hammer just going to come out and smash him? That'd be pretty cool. Nah, he's just going to go hang back up there on the wall. We did it! Aw, dude, did that just come out of your nose? So now for the rest of the game, I'm going to have to realize that my 8th heart container came from the inside of your nose. Wonderful. Well, we got through it, and that's what's important. Let's get out of here. Is what I would say, but we got one more thing we got to do. And that's ring the bell. I'd have you look around, but you really can't see anything because these walls are gigantic. But this is the very top of the tower. So really all you'd be able to see is sky. It's so high up that you wouldn't be able to see anything else. Sadly. And now we can dig up a spot and get some treasure. Actually, no, that's not what that does. The 8th heart is just a layer of mucus. Ew. I know that's what mucus does, but that does not mean that it's any more enjoyable to think about. My true trial will be, yeah, my trials and tribulations. What is this, Phoenix Wright now? I mean, I know I'm wearing blue, but still. Finally did catch up and watched NCS finish Dual Destinies, though, for Phoenix Wright. Gotta say, the ending of that game was actually pretty good. A lot of people that I knew really didn't like that game, and I thought it was not horrible. I still think probably of all the Phoenix Wright games I've seen, being the original trilogy, Apollo Justice, Investigations 1 and 2, and Dual Destinies, I still think Apollo Justice is probably the weakest game. Like, I really didn't care for that game at all. I didn't even like Apollo in that game. I like Apollo in the other games, like Dual Destinies, more there than I do in his actual game. Didn't really care for any of the cases in that game. But if you are a big fan of that, the text-based games and some really comedy writing, I would heavily recommend the original trilogy, because it is really good. And play all 3, because like when you get to the last case of the last one, everything just makes complete sense. Any loose ends you had from the first 2 games get tied up really freaking well. So welcome to Old Hyrule. This used to be my favorite area, and probably still is, of Wind Waker, which was not the best thing to say initially, because whenever I realized this is my favorite part, is basically saying my favorite part of the game is the part that emulates Ocarina of Time the most clearly. Which is a nice way of saying, at least when I initially played the game, my favorite part of Wind Waker was the part that it didn't feel like I was playing Wind Waker. And that's not a good thing for a Zelda game, but I do still like this area, but they keep it to a minimum. You'll come back here one other time, much, much later in the game, by which I mean pretty much the end of the game. That statue looks pretty kick-ass, actually. It was a lot shorter in the GameCube version, if I remember. Like, the actual statue was a lot... It looked a lot more stubby, like Link actually does here. What? Yeah, it's been blocked by a really, really good, strong magical seal, which is a nice way of saying you need to solve a puzzle. Oh, that's why I couldn't push it. Alright, we'll just go. Oh, I didn't even see that little section there. Alright. Really, the worst part about this is just getting the triangles to cooperate with you. This is not a hard puzzle and trying to figure out, oh, what am I supposed to do? No, the camera is not very appreciative of this section, apparently. Camera? You okay? You're alright, you're fine, you're good, don't worry about it. No, that's not the section I want to pull. I want to pull this. Alright, there's 2. So yeah, apparently the most strongest badass creatures that ever wanted to try to get the Triforce couldn't do like a basic block puzzle? I mean, I know it's a little bit more complex than other ones in this game and other ones in the series, but it's not that hard. Like, as far as block pushing puzzles go, this one's pretty tame. Like, sure, I got stuck for a second, but that's just because I wasn't paying attention to what was on the ground. Maybe they just thought, oh, it's just another logo of the Triforce, you know, that's all over the place. It's in Hyrule Castle. I mean, you can see the Hylian crest there all over the background on this statue, but still. Link must be a genius compared to... Yeah, apparently. Now, I love how this room looks. This is like one of my favorite rooms in the game. And I know everyone's seen these before, but these are some really cool stained glass pictures. There's one of the Triforce, and then you've got the sages from Ocarina of Time. Spirit Sage Naboru, Shadow Sage Impa, Fire Sage Darunia. Wow, he looks really creepy in that picture. Like, even more so than he normally does. There's a picture of Ganon and the Triforce. Force Sage Saria. Light Sage Rauru, also known as Cape Bora, and the Water Sage Ruto. Thanks for showing off her boobs even more than the game did normally. So yeah, those paintings are really cool. I like that they had that throwback. To perceive such a puzzle and decipher it is no small feat. I'm just going to let that soak in for a second as we pick up the Master Sword. We'll just leave you with that thought. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, that would actually be pretty epic if you pull the sword and actually saw the statues basically kind of pulling like a knighting you type of thing. That would actually be kind of sick. And by pulling the sword, life itself has returned to Hyrule Castle. Which is good news for me, because that's where I'm going to be getting a fair chunk of my Knight's Crests here. This will probably give me enough for the actual thing I want to pick up and using those. Give me a lot of the skull pendants too, which I don't remember offhand. Well, actually, no, I do remember what they're used for. So that'll likely be enough of those to get me what I need for that as well. Granted, the skull pendants are a little bit easier to grind than the Knight's Crests. And by collecting the sword, once again, we're throwing away a memento from one of our... more so mentor than friend, but yeah, the sword that he gave us to use carefully is now getting chucked away in favor of the Master Sword. Sadly, it's not any stronger than the training sword you start the game with, and that's kind of a downer. One of the things I don't like about this game is that fact. I really, really wish that even if it wasn't the powered-up Master Sword, there'd be a little bit of an attack bonus, because, like, Twilight Princess did that, and it was pretty noticeable, too, when you got it. But Wind Waker, no, didn't get... I don't even think... Maybe when you power it up, you might not get any bonus, which is a real shame that they did that. I don't know why, but they decided that would be a choice that they could make, and they did so. I had a feeling that was going to happen. This is going to be mostly getting the pig masks out of the way, or whatever you want to call them. Man, he got nailed by the hit stun there. That was kind of cool. Clear out a little bit of a space that I can run to if I get put in a really bad spot. Bring it. This is the weirdest camera angle I've ever fought a Dark Knight in this game. Holy crap, this is weird. I don't want you getting involved. Hi. Hi. Well, you go and pick up your sword. I'm gonna just pick up some collectibles here. Don't mind me. You're not gonna go back for your sword? You're just gonna leave it on the ground? Throw it on the ground? Your dad's not a phone? Alright, we want yellow for the collectible. Thank you. I always prefer to get the helm splitter there because you can just literally knock this off their back right after they do that. Well, don't make him fight your battle for you. Just because he has armor and now all of a sudden he has to fight your battle for you? Yeah, I don't think so. Ow! Dude, get it. There you go. I'm asking for a miracle here. Alright, that takes care of that. You actually do have to kill all these guys. You don't have to do it right now, but you will have to get rid of all these guys by the time you finish the game. Where are you? I remember there being more of these guys. I know that there's like some upstairs that I'll have to fight, but I remember there being more of them on the ground floor. I don't want that. Play with you. Hi. Trying to get the camera away from getting stuck on that. Alright, so now I'm curious, is there like any down here? I'm gonna try to clear out all this floor, check the back exits. Yeah, that is true. I don't think I actually pointed that out about the battle music. Is obviously you can hear like the chord progression when you're fighting enemies and you hit them, and that goes along with the music. But it does increase in tension once you get lower in health. Well, that's stuck inside that statue. Let's just pretend that didn't happen and continue on our merry way. What? I was sure there was enemies up here. Ah, there's one. Oh, were they just all in that corner? What the... Alright, whatever. Ow! Okay, that was worth it just to watch him go flying off the stage. Man, talk about a ring out. Jeez. No. You dodge that. There we go. Your Knight's Crest is mine. You could also stun these guys with the boomerang. Same thing with the moblins. I think I've shown that off, at least with the moblins. But yeah, once these guys lose their armor, you can do the same thing to them and stun them and then get the crest that way. Can I like backflip off this? Alright, well let's check around and see if there's any other dudes, or if that one that fell off was the only one left. I don't know if he died or not, but I guess we'll find out if I kill these dudes and there's still some more to be had. Away with you. Man, he went flying. Nope, I guess that one that did fall off earlier did die. The other ones, I could hear them do like the screaming noise, but I wasn't sure about the other ones. So yes, in in getting rid of all those, I guess I can go and show it off now. In getting rid of all those guys, the electrical barrier that is in the other exit of this, well, area, I was trying to think of another word, will go away. But if you try to go any farther out into it, looks to be Hyrule Field, you're going to get blocked by this area here, and you can't get rid of this barrier no matter what you do. At least not right now. So you can fight them now, fight them later. I kind of wanted to fight them now, mostly just for the Knight's Crest, like I said. Because that actually put us at exactly 10 Knight's Crests. And that's the number I wanted. And then for the Skull Necklaces, I got 13. So I still need some more of those. And I still need some gold feathers as well. From either the rocks, which are the birds, or the Peahats. But it's something to start with. So, better than nothing. For now, we've got the Sword. Oh, he's actually not going to make us talk to him. That's nice. Where was that every other time I wanted to skip tutorials? People complain about Skyward Sword, but at least in New Game Plus, if you don't want to watch a cutscene, you can just skip it. Alright, so now it's probably going to say something about powering up the Master Sword, I would guess. No. Huh. You sure? Not what I was expecting. Alright, well then. I'm going to say the first order of business is to go and look for Cyclos. Actually, I should probably... Well, no, because I know I have enough arrows, because they drop like a crap ton, so I'm going to have enough of those. Because trust me, as you saw by the graph earlier, or not the graph, but the document, there is a crap ton of stuff you can do once the world is accessible to you, and apparently that is before placing the pearls, and only after you've gotten Jaboon's Pearl you have access to a ton of stuff. But I did want the bow and arrow. So we could pick up a few more things, or if I wanted to get the warps, which was the big thing, I can get the warps and I can get the fast sail, which will make the rest of this much easier. But trust me, I have no plans to get all of that stuff on the Word document done tonight. Not by any stretch of the imagination. And I know he doesn't typically hang out at this one of the Triangle Isles. He's usually at the southern one, I believe. So since he doesn't appear to be here, we'll just let that bomb hover in midair. So pretty much my only other big plans during this stream is to obviously get the Cyclos and get the warps, and I'll probably go ahead and pick up the fire and ice arrows, because, you know, they're just going to be right there. Get the swift sail, obviously. But I also, at the very least, want to get the map of the Great Sea done, because the outside perimeter only has 4 of... Make sure. Yeah, it only has 4 of the things filled in, which is Outset, Forsaken Fortress, Headstone Island, and Two-Eye Reef, and the rest of the outside perimeter is completely blank. But aside from that, there's only 6 tiles that I have not filled in. So really, it's just going to be taking a tour around the outside perimeter, which is not going to be that bad by comparison to how it could be. And one of the tiles I'm actually missing is right here, so I'm going to go ahead and grab this one while I'm thinking about it. Yeah, we'll toss the bait there, I guess. I actually don't remember what island... Oh, this is the, I almost said Outset Island, the Oasis, the private Oasis. Do-do-do-do-do. Here's some bait for you, my man. Yeah, so that's how much of the map we have filled in currently. Sorry I can't show the gamepad, but at least that gives you a quick idea of how things look. If for anything, it'll probably be for me to make it easier to figure out exactly where I need to go. Alright, so now it's more of an east rather than a southeast, so let's switch it to that. Or west, excuse me. Apparently I don't know the difference between east and west, even though I definitely do. And there is a treasure chart I could get on that island right now, but again, I'm not going to worry about it for the time being. I'm going to get the big stuff taken care of first. So until I actually get started on that list, and I will go in order, so I don't lose track of what I have and haven't done. I know I could mark it off, but it'd be easier to do it that way. I'll get the big stuff I want to get done first. So if he's not here, we're going to end up going north to Northern Triangle Isles to find him. I don't see him anywhere, so he probably is in Northern Triangle Isle. Yeah, it looks like he is. Draw distance in the HD version is pretty good, so I would have seen him by now. So I'm going to switch this to north before I have to start screwing around trying to kill these freaking sea hats or avoid them. Watch me accidentally run into the ghost ship just looking for Cyclos. If you do want to know where the ghost ship is, though, there is a chart somewhere you can pick up to find it. It'll literally just tell... It'll give you a picture of, like, all the moon phases and then give you a picture of each of the islands that it appears on next to that moon phase. I think we've gone in here, but I'm about 95% sure we have, because this has already been marked on the map. So I'm willing to bet I've probably gone in here already. But it couldn't hurt to at least steal those joy pendants away while we're here. Did he even wake up from that? Okay, he did. Getting a little concerned about how well he could just sleep through someone stealing his prized possession. And in fact, what I might do, whether I've gotten this or not, I might go ahead and just grind to the 40, the joy pendants right here. Because whether you kill these guys or not, if you enter the submarine and then exit the submarine again, they're going to have their drops. It'll reset them completely. How many of those pendants do I have again? I got 26 right now. No, it doesn't look like I've done this. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna steal your thing. Hi. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these barrels and whatnot are probably gonna have enemies in them. There's the ruby cap, for now. Nice butt shot there, jeez. I'm sensing a pattern here. I'm just gonna get rid of that now. So I'm gonna say, I don't know if these are gonna keep infinitely spawning until I kill like everything else in the barrels, but why I'm bothering to kill these now. I'm gonna already full on the arrows and the bombs. Oh, it's these. Wonderful. I'm glad I checked to see what was in here. Red shoe. Yes, I'll take that. One of those stupid things. Watch the spawn like a really weird enemy. I was almost expecting one of them to just somehow spawn a Wizrobe in or something. I know one of these ships does have one. Alright. Since there was a chest here that I've already... or that I have not picked up... Oh, it's a piece of heart. Nice. Well, that actually came at a pretty decent time, then. So that was at... Six Eye Reef. Let me grab a pen real quick and mark that off. Because I'm pretty sure that is on my list somewhere. Well, that came at a good time, at least. Yeah, there it is. I see it. Alright. Normally I just put a check mark by it, but since we're not going in order, it'd be a little hard to keep track of it. Moving on. The reason I want to go ahead and grab these right now, by the way, is just because since after we're going to get to Cyclos, we're going to do the auction, and since I'll be at Windfall, that's where I have to turn in the pendants, so it's just a good time to just straight up do it right then. There's actually a fair bit of things we can get at Windfall right now as well. There's like the windmill side quests, which we can't finish, but we can start it and then fly over to where the top half of Lenzo's house is. Can do the part where you show the pictograph to the... Oh, they did respawn in there. Well, knowing that, I'm actually going to go ahead and get some skull necklaces here too, if you're going to let me do that. Excuse. If it's going to spawn 3 of these guys, I can just... Because I have 17 now, so I can get 19 and then just get the last one when I come back in here. I think you need 20. So spawn your next one. And since I know that's the last one, I won't even bother fighting him. I'll just steal his treasure and run off. Haha, you can't get me. So after getting the 5 gold feathers at some point down the line, that should, after we do this, this should be all for collectibles from the spoils bag that I need to pick up, because I've got everything else that I need. There's only one collectible in the game we have not yet run across, and that is the blue chew jelly, which is not required for completing the game. As you could probably guess, the chew jellies will just, you trade them for getting potions for free at Windfall rather than buying them. But they're not exactly super expensive. Even the blue chew jelly is like only 60 rupees, or the blue potion rather, it's only 60 rupees. I'm gonna go ahead and grab the other 2 that I can get from this, since we're here. And if I'm wrong, we need 30 somewhere down the line. Let's get away from him. Ha, too slow. Did he just like draw from the sky? This guy here that I'm fighting? Looked like the asset just spawned in the air, and just due to the water tide, he just didn't happen to be on the raft. I wonder if that was the case, then, like, whenever they initially did that, they had the spawn too low, and it would have just, like, sometimes he would have just clipped right through and just fallen into the ocean and died instantly. Yeah, that's also true. You can get blue potions from Forest Haven by using the Boko Baba seeds, which is another very easy way to do it. It's rather odd that they give you, like, all these different ways to get the blue potion, and, like... You could, you know, get the Boko Baba seeds, which is pretty easy to do. You could toss 60 rupees at it, which is incredibly easy to do. Like, you can make 60 rupees just by going and breaking the pots around Windfall, probably. So it's just odd that they would have you do this, like, huge quest of getting all the Chew jelly that's around the world, because they're all over the place. Just a bit odd. It'd make more sense if it was a quest of, like, trying to destroy these jellies, and giving you 10 of them would give you something, like, incredibly amazing, but... I can't think of what they would give you for it. Can't exactly give you a blue potion that lasts an infinite amount of times. Then you could just spam it like crazy every time you ran low on magic or on hearts. They already got the elixir soup. What more do you need? Like I said, this game is not hard. It's not because of all the items they give you. It's just generally, like, the combat's pretty simple. It's smooth. It's easy to use, but it's not really that tough in most spots. It's not like in Twilight Princess, where if you're fighting the dude that has the ball and chain before you get it, where you can actually have some trouble with them. Really, most of the enemies in this game you're not going to have trouble with unless they're just a huge amount of them. So the closest you're going to get is this game's equivalent of the Pit of 100 Trials, really. Alright, so with that being done... We've got all the skull necklaces we need. We got all the joy pendants we need. And we've got all the knight's crests that we need. So I am hoping that I will see Cyclos pretty soon, because if not... I'm not 100% sure where he is. Also, you probably appreciate me not having to, or not deciding to stop and go dig up every last one of the treasure things that I see now that there's no point. Yeah, there he is. Oi, Cyclos, I've been looking for you. I'm trying to remember where he throws you to if you get caught by him before you have the bow and arrow. I want to say he sends you back to Dragon Roost. Because typically you'd run across in between, like, here and, well, no, it wouldn't even be between here and Forest Haven. It would be getting the pearls. I think he sends you to Dragon Roost. Has a beautiful sound effect for hitting him. It's weird, the arrows look like they go flying to the left when you let them go, but it actually does go where you aim. It's really weird. It's a heck of an arm you got there, and I'd think the arrow is more than the arm, but you know. It actually is very hard to shoot a bow with somebody who has done so with a compound bow. Those, like, 60-pound drawstring, that's actually pretty hard to do. It's, you know, easy a couple times, but if you do it 100 times in one day, it will hurt. You will get quite a workout on your arm. So now you get what's probably the most useful song in the game. Even, well, maybe not as... Yeah, no, I'd say more so than the Song of Passing. I was going to say the Song of Passing might be the other one, but... No, I would put this one over it. The Ballad of Gales. Which is a nice way of saying it is the warp song I've been talking about. This gives you... It'll probably show it on the map. Ton of different places to warp to. So, let's say that I want to go somewhere that's really far away. Alright. Well, in that case... And they give you all the warps straight away. You don't have to go looking for these things either, which is wonderful. So you can go to any of these spots. So if I want to end up going to Outset, I don't have to sail all the way there. I can literally just hop straight over there. For the time being, though, I am going to Windfall. I know it's only one square way, but this is still going to be faster than sailing there. Even though the wind's in the right direction, this will still be quicker. See, the mailbox is moving. One letter. Here's your letter. Hack that letter up. Oh, that's really sweet. It's kind of a shame it's going to waste. But thanks for the 20 rupees. I genuinely appreciate it. Now I kind of feel bad that it's literally not going to have any purpose because I'm at full capacity, but, you know, oh well. I think I've already done this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. So now, if we show her that, it has to be a color pictograph if you're playing the original thing. Yeah, so we've already gotten the treasure chart from her. Alright, so the first thing that I want to do is go ahead and grab another song, which is weird because prior to right now, we've gotten, like, what, how many songs? Oh, it actually doesn't show you on this menu. You have to pull. Yeah, we just picked up one, so we're going to be literally doubling our song count because prior to this, all we had was the Wind's Requiem. Or no, we'll be tripling it, actually. All we have is the Requiem, and now we have the command melody. We just got the Ballad of Gales, and we're about to get another one right here. That's not it. That's just not it. And the problem is, even though that's not it, this isn't it either. Hi. Pardon me, guys. So fully absorbed in my dancing that I didn't notice you there. I am Tot. You sure your name isn't Elvis? You know, I was just reminded of a guy who performed a magic. So he can remember the dance moves, but not the rhythm. It's the only time that it will go naturally right here, rather than in the GameCube version, it actually would go naturally, but in this game, in the HD version, it actually won't start typically until you start playing a song. Also, if you couldn't remember a 3-beat rhythm, would suggest Rhythm Heaven Fever, but, you know, you probably don't have video games in this tiny little island. Plus, if you did, I'm sure the Killer Bees probably wouldn't be walking around as much. Oops, no, I did it backwards. There we go. And that gives you the Song of Passing. No, it is not a song that kills your enemies immediately. This is basically this game's version of the Sun Song. Switches day to night and night to day. Nothing happened, nothing at all. Well, because you didn't use the Wind Waker, you doof. But another upside to us in particular using this is it also goes through the moon cycles on top of that. So, by playing it again, and actually playing it correctly this time, it'll just straight up turn at the night. Now, if you are playing along and it is nighttime, I would look around at the moon phase to see if it is a full moon. If it is, go ahead and snap a picture of it real quick. Because the dude that's on the steps, or that was on the steps a second ago, just outside of the auction place, he is looking for a picture of the full moon. And he will give you a treasure chart that will lead to a piece of heart. But since it's not, I'll snag it later. Now, if you want to pick up everything that is in the auction, then you're going to need about 800 rupees, give or take. Which, by this point, you're probably, you know, have way too much money anyway. Because there are 5 things that get sold at this auction, and 4 of them are things that you want. The 5th one is a joy pendant, and yeah, no. It's probably going to be the joy pendant, isn't it? Oh, it's not. Cool. It's treasure chart. So unfortunately, this is where the part of the game is going to get a little slow, because... Begin. The way this auction works is you're supposed to tap A to fill up the bar at the bottom of the screen. And once the bar gets up all the way, you're allowed to bid, and you can bid however much you want. The problem is, with like real bidding, really it doesn't matter how many times you bid, it just matters how much you bid and when you bid it. Because like anybody who's ever bid anything on eBay will tell you, the best time to bid is in like the last 30 seconds. Probably even less than that. So, really, when you're doing this, all the different AI, and, you know, they're slightly random here. I don't think Garrickson's in the crowd. He can be a couple different people who can show up. There's Missy, wow. Whoop-de-doo for her. And there's Gossack. Is these guys are going to keep hiking it up over and over, and if you hit the button to actually bid, because, again, you'll have to tap it several times, it will start going naturally. If you tap it, like, a few times and then stop, the A button will naturally go up. The only time it doesn't is if there's nothing in the A button. So, like, if you haven't hit it at all. If you do make a bid, it will tell you how much time's left on the clock. But the guy here will also give you a warning when there's 5 seconds left, and you can literally just mash the button. Yeah, time is running out, I think, is like the 30-second mark. I might have hit the button by accident, because now it looks like the bar is going up slightly, because I'm not hitting the A button right now. The only time I'm hitting it is to advance the dialogue, but I might have hit it by accident. Also, what kind of a name is Gummy? Like, I know that's named for, like, an alligator, but for a guy? Is he just a big old gummy bear or something? What are you going to do with a treasure map, Anton? I know that's supposed to be his hat, but it almost looks like his hair in that shot. The colors are so similar at night inside of a building, I guess. So I'll start hitting the button a little bit. As much time left. Are you done bidding? I think that's like the 15-second mark, somewhere in there. He will outright tell you when there's 5 seconds left. So 112 rupees! 116 rupees! Only 5 seconds remain. Are you all done? Is this the end? Mash it! So 2 seconds left. Now, the way that you want to bid in this is if you bid 10% higher than what the current bid is, so, you know, 10% of this, pretty easy to figure out. I'm just going to go ahead and knock it up by 20, because that's easy enough. And if you do that, then the audience will get stunned. If you bid it up by 20%, they will get stunned for even longer. And so now that they're, of course, all stunned, they can't do anything, and then, you know, the auction just ends, so you won't get sniped immediately. Dear me, let me just say, congratulations! And I don't remember if it was a GameCube thing or not. I don't think it was. You may have had to actually play, like, leave and play the Song of Passing twice for the auction to start again. But I believe if you just exit in the HD version at the very least, if you exit the building and walk back in, then it'll just immediately throw you into another auction. Also, if you want to grab a little bit of your money really quickly, you can get 5 rupees back of it right there. Yep, I'm here again. Hoping that the Swift sale is the next thing you're going to throw up on there. What is that woman on the, like, the far, I guess, facing the camera like it was just then? It was the very first woman you saw. It looked like she cut half of her hair and then realized she had to get to the auction on time and then just didn't cut the other half of it. Alright, so there is a second treasure chart. And if for whatever reason you do lose one of these auctions, and it's something you actually did need, which is a nice way of saying it wasn't the Joy Pendant, it will actually get thrown up on auction again. It'll say something like, for some unknown reason, whoever won this previously no longer wants this item. Which is, you know, basically means they had no use for it. The treasure charts, nobody here sails around the ocean, at least nobody in this crowd does, I'm pretty sure. The Joy Pendant, probably just realized it was crap. And, the final item, well, besides the sale, which is the Piece of Heart, again, nobody could really use. Also, yes, that is a very good point, Aura. One of these treasure charts leads to 1 rupee. The other one leads to a Piece of Heart. And I think the starting bid for each, I think it actually does randomize that, so you don't know which is which. So either A, you can buy both, knowing that one of them is going to give you 1 rupee, or B, you can buy one of them and then go and fish up that first object and see if it's the right one, and if not, you have to come back here. So basically, you're playing the odds. Sam needs to, like, chill on the sideburns. His sideburns look like mine when I was, like, 19. Like, that's what mine would look like. It honestly would. It was really bad. Though I definitely do need to get my hair cut sometime soon. The guy that was standing next to him, Sam, just gave him, like, the weirdest look. It's really funny if you end up, like, having the current high bid, and then you get outbid. Like, you can see Link's face right here. He looks super angry. Like, I'm sure there's some psychology behind, like, the whole auction thing of people getting upset that they were outbid on something that they thought that they had by, you know, having a certain value. And as a result, they would bid more than, or they would spend money on something, more money on something than they normally would. Are you done bidding? I mean, I've just been standing here for the past minute, so... Only 5 seconds remain. Is this the end? Not until I'm done mashing it. 171, alright, we'll kick that up to 202. How'd I get stuck competing with this annoying little rich boy? Drat it. Well, it's probably because he's been going out to the sea and going on adventures and hauling up treasure chests. Yeah, that's a pretty good way to earn money. Since aside from her, I think that, or aside from him, I think the teacher is the only person you see here who has an actual job. Of course, maybe they're like a writer or something and they write novels. Dear me, such excitement. Dear people, thank you very much. Can I adopt? Yeah, no thanks. Don't get me wrong, I like Windfall, and in terms of towns, I like this more than Outset, but, no thanks. I've always had, like, the mental picture of some point or another, like, after the whole journey of, Wind Waker being over, before he, like, leaves at the very end of the game, is that that Link will take Errol and, his grandma over to, like, some of the places he actually enjoyed going to, like Windfall Island, and, you know, just, like, showing him around, letting him interact with the townsfolk. Errol can hang out with the killer bees. Like, she hangs out with the pirates, so she'd probably like hanging out with the killer bees. Give me that joy pendant, isn't it? It's not, it's the swift sail. This is what I want. It is indeed very valuable. And 100 rupees. Dude, I'll pay all my money for that thing. I will give you the 656 rupees straight up right now. This is the one item I cared about getting above all the others. Our current bidder is the worthy guy. It's the, like, we've only been here for like 3 seconds. He's the only one that's made a bid. There was, at some point in time, there was a video circulating around Facebook that was really funny that, it would show the people that actually do, like, the auctions, you know, like, they'll go, like, 75, do I hear 80, 80, 80, do I hear 85, 90, 90, do I hear 95, 105, do I hear, like, that, and they would take the people that did that, and then they would, put in the background, like, some rap music or country music, and it fits in so well, like, the rhythm of just how they talk fits in quite well with the rhythm of music. And again, there's probably some psychology behind that. If I wasn't in university, it was during the summer winter break, maybe I'd look up a little bit about that and get some information. But for now, we'll just watch Link stare in disapproval as he has, like, the... I was gonna say the, oh, what is it called? The De Niro face, the Robert De Niro face, where he has, like, that really upset look on his face. Yes, our current bidder is the person who apparently only got half their haircut. Link looked like he was kind of high there. The Bald Man, Gossack. It's like a really bad caricature of Colin Mockery with the chin of, like, I don't even know who. That's obviously just Mario right there. I don't know what he thinks he's doing. Mario doesn't have an adventure out on the open seas. Like, even getting to Mario Sunshine, he flew there on a plane. Are you done bidding? I mean, I'm just gonna snipe this sucker away from you guys the second I get a chance. Only 5 seconds remain. Give me that sail. Thank you. How much will you bid? A lot. Is he serious? What a brat. Now give me that sail. Mine. Exactly, he swims the seas. He does that in Mario Sunshine and a little bit by extension in Mario 64. Technically, he swims through galaxies in Mario Galaxy if you count each planet being its own galaxy. I feel slightly bad for, like, getting all the stuff in the auction in terms of, like, people who go through Windfall. Because, like, after you get everything you want, it's just every time people come to the auction at night to look for, like, new things to bid on, it's just going to be a joy pendant over and over. Unless they end up, like, bringing in something new that's completely useless. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I would really appreciate it if the game made the Piece of Heart the next one, and we literally wouldn't have to sit here at all waiting for a completely useless joy pendant to go by. I'm impressed it hasn't come up yet, to be honest with you. I figured it would instantly. Nope, Piece of Heart. Wow. Actually got pretty lucky. And 80 rupees. So now I get to stretch and watch more of this go by. That guy's stomach was like clipping through the camera there. Such a joyless auction. I mean, that's for the best, because then we'd just be sitting here for a minute waiting for something to go by. Yeah, it's kind of weird that they don't have an option to just straight up, you know, just drop out if it's something you don't want. I mean, I would assume you could do that in a real auction. If it was, like, one item you were bidding on, and then you found out what the item was and you didn't want it, you could just up and leave. In a real auction, you're obviously bidding for more than one item. Like, I have been to an actual auction. A lot of conventions will do those. And usually, you know, whatever gets sold, it gets sold for charity, so it'll get bought at an exceptionally high price, not specifically from the whole psychology thing, but also because, you know, you're donating to a good cause. The last time we'd gone to Nightmare Nights, which was, you know, the last time they'd done it in 2017, the group that had been bidding there on stuff actually raised enough money to where they beat out BronyCon, which is like the MLP convention each year. But they had raised like some insane amount of money, like, I don't even remember how much it was. It was ridiculous how much money people were... Not so much ridiculous in how much they were spending, but it was, like, amazing to see how much people would spend in order to, like, give to charity. It was really cool. The only problem is, because it's me, I can't exactly participate because, you know, most of my money's spent on travel to get there and what have you. That's the joy of having to deal with medical bills. And you know, being a full-time student doesn't exactly help either when you're X odd grand in debt. Scholarships can't erase everything for most of us. Only 5 seconds remain. Hi. The kid's rolling in dough. Yeah, now I'll be rolling in this piece of heart. It goes to me for the amount of 15 rupees squared. Thank you. So let's mark that off. I think I have that somewhere else in here too. Yep, there it is. Because I'd put it first on the list because I knew that was the first thing I'd wanted to do. Alright. Thank you very much. I am most welcome, and I will not be coming back to this auction. They can bid on that joy pendant and toss it back in the ring as many times as they'd like. So, with that being done, I guess next order of business is probably to do the thing with the windmill. Which I think the ladder is back here. Yes, it is. And again, we can't fully do the side quest because you need the fire arrows for it, but there's another part of it we can do. I think you have to have the switch be north? Did I actually not type that one in? No, I did. There it is. Okay, I do have to have the wind being north. Have class at 7:50 tomorrow. Yeah, I know that feeling since I'll be having that test at 8. Catch you later, Aura. Oh, it already is going north. Well, that's easy enough. I'll probably just do everything here at Windfall and call it for the day. Again, I wasn't expecting a very long stream, but I wanted to do at least something for Thursday. So that'll get that moving. I swear at this point, well, no, that's after Forsaken Fortress. Never mind. I was gonna say that there's another mission you could do at night here, but no, not quite yet. That will be a little bit later. Well, that kind of gives you a clue. I didn't even know that dude was down there. But yeah, apparently at night he's down there and he's looking out at the moon. Never realized that, actually. The door is locked and can't be opened. What? Does it have to be day? Don't remember that being an issue. Oh, I bet I know why, though. Yeah, it's probably open now. No? What? I don't remember this door being locked. I seriously don't remember that door being locked. That's really weird. Okay. Forgot I already did that with the Song of Passing. else on Windfall? Check the back of this. I swear that I had, like, the whole side quest with the pictographs already on here, but maybe not. Hi. Maybe you have to do this part first before he unlocks the door? I still don't know why that top arrow would be locked. So if that's the case, you may have to look at all these. So yeah, you can see pictographs, a bunch of stuff. There's choo-choos. There's the private oasis. That's Tingle Isle, I believe. And this is Outset. That's the ghost ship. Which I think he might be the only person to actually mention the ghost ship by name. All the fish don't actually tell you what it is. There's one of the things that you put the pearls in. And that's, of course, Forsaken Fortress. Alright, maybe now that we've done that, and we'll walk back in and talk to him. Maybe you have to do this side quest before he unlocks that door? Because now he's going to be behind the thing, right? Yeah. That's bothering me that that door is locked. I genuinely do not ever remember that door being locked. Also surprised he's not, like, triggering the side quest either. Because in the side quest, there's a couple pictures you have to take around Windfall. There's one of, like, Mario putting a letter in the post box. There's one of Anton and Linda looking at each other. There's one of, like, some guy that gets scared really easily. Also, a really good shot of the Great Sea. There's a Tower of the Gods. Or no, that's Dragon Roost over there. Tower of the Gods would be more that way. Yeah, there's Tower of the Gods back there. It's amazing just how far you can see in this game. Stuff that's like way, way out there, you can still see it. Okay, now it's open? What? I mean, this is kind of like his secret area. I don't know why it would be unlocked now, but, you know, whatever. Sorry, marking this off. That one as well, because we're going to be doing that shortly. Alright, so treasure chart. I think this is 100 rupees, if I remember correctly. No, purple rupee. Alright, well, still good. Jeez, how long is this pathway? There we go. Camera. That should do. Guess I can't get around the corner. I'm gonna take another shot, though. Alright, there we go. So this is the part I never get. So, like, there's two women in town that gossip about, like, oh, maybe the guy that does the pictographs has, like, a secret lover, and they think that it might be this girl. And so then you hop in on them, and they're literally just talking about a hobby that they both have. Like, she's interested in pictures and taking pictures and getting her picture taken. And, you know, he's a photographer, so of course there's some mutual interest there. Then you go over here and actually show them on the album. I don't think it's here. So yeah, they ask if you, like, if there was somehow the way to get the pictograph, then you can show it to them. And then they realize that it's just, like, somebody that really likes the pictograph, and they're like, I guess we were completely wrong about Lenzo having a girlfriend. Looks like they're just old friends who happen to share the same hobby. Now, how they know that? Like, sure they might, but how do you get that from a picture? Like, just because she likes getting her picture taken and there is a photographer doesn't mean that there might also be, you know, a boyfriend-girlfriend relationship there? Can't really infer that from the picture. I mean, if you're going to make the assumption, that's not exactly hard evidence. That just shows a picture of the fact that they were both in the same room talking at some point. Also, yes, they say they're going to stop gossiping, but yeah, we all know that won't happen. Alright, so with that taken care of, let's go ahead and do this next. Oh, hey, I don't remember these two being here. Oh well, either way. So now, let's get some joy pendants out. $41. Take 20. 20 is my lucky number. And then, she gives you in return the Cabana deed. It's written on yellowed parchment. It looks quite old. So this will let you get into the cabana that's on the private oasis. Yeah, it's a secret to everybody, I'm sure. And then she gives you a treasure chart in return. Normally that would be the Hero's Charm in the GameCube version, which will let you see enemy HP. It also looks super creepy. But in the HD re-release, they give you a treasure chart for it instead. Alright, so the only other thing we can do around here during the daytime is you. Leave it to me. So she wants you to take a picture of her and you have to get her whole body in the photograph. The issue here is the killer bees kind of get in the way sometimes, so you have to make sure that they don't do that. Perfect, right there. Oops. And then once you get that, you have to find out who her quote-unquote secret lover is, but as I mentioned already, it's Anton, the dude in the striped shirt. And he's usually walking around somewhere around here. Yeah, there he is. Just show him the pictograph. He's like, oh, pictograph, huh? Maybe you have to talk to him first. Yeah, there we go. I think I'm catching a cold. No, I think you're in love. Maybe I do need to talk to her again. Oh, you have to, like, show it to her to get her approval, probably. Yes, that's exactly what I want, is to take a picture of her breasts. Okay, maybe that was enough to unlock the thing. There he is. You gonna look at the pictograph now? No? Is that actually, like, not a good enough pictograph? Because that's kind of surprising if it's not. Maybe there needs to be more background in the shot. Maybe I just need to be closer to her like this. Ah, there we go. I just saw it pop up with, like, the little good thing on the side, which means that should be correct now. So that should give a different reaction. Yeah, there we go. I felt like that other one was fine, though. So there we go. Now that he mentions he'll ask her out, we'll play the Song of Passing a couple times. Which, in case you're wondering how many songs are in this game, there's only 6. It's kind of weird that there's not that many. Used to having like 10, but yeah, we've got 4 of the 6 songs now. Make sure this isn't a full moon, but I'm pretty sure it's not. No, it's close, but not quite. The only 2 songs remaining in the game are dungeon-based songs that you need to get into the dungeon. So now if you'll notice, she's not there. He mentioned asking her out for coffee, hence they probably went to the cafe. I like that this tiny island, it was like, there's very little on this island. There's like a small school, not else, so yet they are apparently fancy enough to have a cafe. There you go, piece of art. Take good care of it. Yeah, I will. I'll take good care of it. And the final thing I want to do before ending it off is I'm going to go ahead and get the picture of that full moon. That's a really weird angle for him to be standing. Hey, and good timing. There it is right there. Didn't even have to play the Song of Passing that many times. I'm actually going to move a little bit here. Dang it, I keep doing that. It feels more natural to take the picture with the trigger rather than the bumper. No, not that. I want to make sure this is right, because it's not... giving me like the good symbol on it, and that makes me slightly nervous now that I've messed that up. Because if I do get it wrong, then I'm going to have to play the song passing a lot to get back to this point. So I'm going to hope one of those qualify. Actually, you know what? No, I'm not going to hope one of those qualify. I'm going to get one more where it's zoomed in really far. No, I don't want to... I know the Me service has ended. I'm trying to erase that, you fool. Don't know why I have that picture in there. Yeah, I'm aware. There we go. Alright, there we go. If one of those isn't enough, then I don't know what to tell the dude who wants the picture of the full moon. Unless I already gave it to him, because I did have that like picture preset in there, but it also wasn't a color picture. Granted, he's looking for a round, pale object, so I don't feel like color would matter too much when taking a picture of the moon. At least in this instance. But maybe it would, I don't know. Completely, I couldn't care less. Alright, good enough. Oh, there we go, the full moon. And a treasure shard. I believe that one is also for a piece of heart, so you do want to grab that. I do like how, fittingly enough, he wants to be left alone, and so he asks you to bring him a picture of something that can only show up during the nighttime, meaning it will be impossible for you to give him the right thing immediately, and so he'd at least have a day to, you know, be able to ignore you. Okay, and I already did that as well. Take one more look at my list here. See what else is around or on Windfall. The Pictograph side quest is the only one right now that I was not able to do. I could do that, but that would take a while, so I don't think I'm going to do that in this episode. Yeah, no. That's going to take a while in order to do that. Plus, I would like to have more money to actually be able to be 100% sure I can complete that. So, I think we're going to end things off here. Completed the Tower of the Gods. Did a little bit of excess quest stuff in order to make travel easier, getting the warp song. And of course, getting the fast sale from the auction. But I think for now, that's going to do it. So I will see you guys next week when I don't have to worry about that content exam for the time being and actually have a little bit more time to stream. Hard to believe that the HD re-release of this game is 5 years old already. Like, jeez. Feels like it came out like 3 years ago. But, you know, what are you gonna do, I guess? Just, I don't know. That feels weird. It feels really weird. I will see you guys on Saturday for the final 2 episodes of The Walking Dead: A New Frontier. If those episodes run a little bit short in terms of stream time, we might do something else. It'll probably just be like Mario Kart or something. So if you want to hang out after that, if we're still doing anything, you of course can. In the meantime, I will see you guys in the next one. Later.